look at how huge that nigga hands is, bro. That nigga hand is big enough to cover your entire neck. Like, y'all put your hands on your necks. His hand is big enough to cover your entire neck and over a portion of your mouth. Imagine this nigga slapping you.
Dirty Dan. Dirty Dan. Dirty Dan. I'm Dirty Dan. I don't know what you mean. I'm Dirty Dan. It's absolutely amazing. I'm Dirty Dan. Whoa, Dirty Dan.
Vince McMahon, what the hell did you do? Shout out my boy Patrick CC. Let's get into it. Huh? Check internet connection. What do you mean? Yeah, eventually.
It feels like every other day we see someone throw their entire life's work away because they use their money and power to fulfill their darkest desires. Vince McMahon was the mastermind who bought his father's wrestling promotion and turned it into the multi-billion-dollar company we know today as the WWE. Many of the ideas, characters, storylines, legendary matches, and controversial moments can be credited to Vince's sick and twisted mind. Not only did he run the company, but he was also the most notorious villain who played the character of the psychopath businessman. We would later...
Right, I'm about to say, so this was really him? Like, in real life? He wasn't, like, acting? Just as dead as just him? Just being able to be himself on camera because that's the character he put himself into?
Find out that this was no character. Vince was just as evil off-screen as he was on-screen. Recently, horrifying accusations have come to light regarding Vince's sick ways. Brutal assault, crime cover-ups, and human trafficking are just a few of the many reasons why he has formally stepped down as the CEO of the WWE. Today we are going to look into the unraveling of Vince McMahon's life and career, and show all of the obvious warning signs we missed along the way. The wrestling business operated similarly to gangs in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. The United States had defined territories that different wrestling federations controlled. Vince McMahon's father, Vincent, owned the Worldwide Wrestling Federation.
You feel me, Breezy?
Everybody region of the United States. This was home to stars like Bruno Sammartino. He also had the Mid-Atlantic region, which covered Virginia and the Carolinas, home to Ric Flair.
Hold on real quick. I hate when random motherfuckers like knock at my door.
A few moments later.
Continue.
And the world-class wrestling promotion in the South controlled career and show all of the obvious warning signs we missed along the way. The wrestling business operated similarly to gangs in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. The United States had defined territories that different wrestling federations controlled. Vince McMahon's father, Vincent, owned the Worldwide Wrestling Federation, which controlled the northeast region of the United States. This was home to stars like Bruno Sammartino. He also had the Mid-Atlantic region, which covered Virginia and the Carolinas, home to Ric Flair, and the world-class wrestling promotion in the South, which was home of the Von Erich brothers. Wrestling had nowhere near the mainstream popularity it does now. There wasn't much money in the business, so each promotion was protective of their territory. You only promoted shows within the territory you controlled. The National Wrestling Alliance was a governing body that protected the territorial integrity of the promotions. They also helped with talent acquisitions, cross-promotions, title matches, etc. Vincent McMahon Sr. was an honest, hard-working man who traveled the country developing relationships with the heads of other promotions. Vince was enamored with the world his dad created, and one day dreamed of taking over the business, but his father didn't like that idea.
Vince lets his father know that he wants to wrestle. His father is adamantly opposed.
He wanted me to have a secure future. He wanted me to be an accountant or an attorney or something like that, and I really wasn't cut out for any of the above.
In 1972, his father finally gave him an opportunity to be a promoter all the way in Bangor, Maine, one of the smallest and most difficult places to generate excitement and revenue. So Vince Jr. came up with the genius idea of taping the matches and shipping those tapes across state lines to get people to start watching wrestling on television. Some people looked at this as undercutting or stealing from other territories, but over the next decade, Vince helped his father bring the business to to new heights, bringing in stars like Muhammad Ali and tripling their television ratings in the region. However, the landscape of wrestling would shift dramatically when in 1982 his father was falling deathly ill from cancer. He wanted the WWF to remain a Northeast promotion and control the New York City area, but Vince Jr. had big dreams of becoming a national promotion and establishing a global presence. He bought the company, and shortly after, his father passed away. Now Vince was on a warpath to infiltrate every territory and take their business. But before we dive deeper into Vince's evil plan, it's becoming more difficult to protect yourself online. Scammers are becoming less.
I seen it coming.
You get 20% off the monthly subscription.
Nice try.
And that started with Andre the Giant, standing at 7'4" and over 500 pounds. Andre was a sight to behold, and everyone around the world was eager to watch him compete. While working for Vincent, Andre would travel across territory lines and get paid. Andre was a sight to behold. And
look at how huge that nigga hands is, bro. That nigga hand is big enough to cover your entire neck. Like, y'all put your hands on your necks. His hand is big enough to cover your entire neck and over a portion of your mouth. Imagine this nigga slapping you with the full force. Your face coming fucking off. Nigga, you about to be decimated. Look at the ref. Look at the ref behind me. Look at the ref. This nigga like, hey, don't go too crazy now. You know what I'm saying? Like, please don't kill this nigga. Like, imagine imagine a nigga with a hand that size. Imagine a nigga with a hand the size of a fucking, I'm trying to pick up my key. The size of a keyboard, goddammit. Nigga got the hand the size of a keyboard and he's slapping you. Or he just put his hands around your, nigga, it's up. It's motherfucking up, bro. I just realized, I'm like, yo, Andre the Giant was an actual fucking, he was an actual problem.
And everyone around the world was eager to watch him compete. While working for Vincent, Andre would travel across territory lines and get paid a fee to help draw bigger crowds to smaller promotions. Hulk Hogan was another traveling star who was based out of Florida, but was
racist ass nigga. How did we not see the signs? How did we not know that this nigga was racist back in the day? Because I ain't gonna hold you. At one point, Hulk Hogan was one of my favorite wrestlers, especially when I was a kid. But how did we not know this nigga was racist as fuck, brother? And I ain't even gonna hold you. I still be saying brother sometimes like this nigga. Like, only when I talk to certain friends. But I deadass be hitting that brother sometimes. How did we not see it? He deadass look racist. Like, we never knew. Like, we never fucking thought about that shit, bro. Like, as kids growing up. Like, bruh. He looks like the leader of, like, the Heaven's Gate cult. Or, you know what I'm saying? The rally, you know what I'm saying? He definitely looked like he got a Confederate flag boxers on, you know what I'm saying? When he at home. Nigga is his favorite word.
Would cross territory lines for
he the Grand Wizard.
When Vince took over, he put an end to this. Wrestlers signed to the WWF would only be able to wrestle for the shows he controlled, which was basically every state from Pennsylvania to Maine. This business practice is extremely common now, as you never see a football player jump from one game in the NFL to one game in the XFL, or a fighter have one match in the UFC, then a fight in Bellator, then back to UFC. They sign exclusive contracts for a certain number of matches, but back then, Vince's business practices were considered destructive to this industry. He began signing top talent from all territories to exclusive contracts with the WWF. Some of those wrestlers included Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan, Rocky Johnson, Roddy Piper, Bret Hart, Mr. T, Randy Savage, The Ultimate Warrior, Ricky Steamboat, just to name a few. Vince started the Atlantic and Pacific Wrestling Corporation by partnering with Mike LaBelle in Southern California. Then he purchased Mike's shares of the company in 1982, which gave him full control of New York City, Philadelphia, and Los Angeles. To continue his dominance, he used his relationships at War TV to pay $2,500 a week for a Saturday morning time slot on Los Angeles' Channel 9 KHJ TV. But McMahon didn't expect to make a dime. He saw TV as a promotional expense to boost the gates of live shows. The WWF was being broadcasted nationally on Monday nights on the USA Network, so the whole country was being exposed to the brand.
Not in
but
real
that
life,
wasn't
but
enough for Vince. He began a full-on invasion strategy to take out all his competitors city by city. Like when he acquired a local TV station, WAKR 23 out of Akron, Ohio, with reach to Cleveland on January 8th, 1983. Then later that year, the WWF debuted on WCPO 9 in Cincinnati, which was an established Georgia Championship Wrestling territory. From there, the WWF entered World Championship Wrestling territory in Dayton, Ohio, purchasing the exclusive rights from WKEF 22 to replace the WCW broadcast with WWF's broadcast. One by one, Vince would enter a city controlled by another promotion, then buy out their TV time slot to air WWF. If he couldn't buy out their TV slot, then he would buy out their top talent, but most of the time, he did both. On an infamous day now known as Black Saturday, July 14th, 1984, Vince McMahon appeared on the Saturday time slot on TBS that regularly featured Georgia Championship Wrestling for over a decade. Vince walks on screen after purchasing the company in the time slot to basically flex and say the World Wrestling Federation is now taking over.
It is indeed a pleasure to be associated with WTBS, and we
promise
just straight
to
up
bring you
just
the
try to flex
greatest
the professional
power.
wrestling entertainment in the world today.
Jim Ross, a legend known for being WWE's commentator in its golden years, said he once overheard several.
You think Vince McMahon gonna try to run for
considering
president?
Getting McMahon killed while in the stall of a public bathroom.
In those days, it was like when you, from their standpoint, invaded their territory. It was like, well, okay, this is not just fighting words. It's like there's so many times when people.
You can tell his voice fucked up from years of just screaming and "You're fired." You could tell that nigga fucking voice is out of there.
Threatened me, and it was like the last guy said, like, you better get, if you want to take credit for it, you better get me quick.
Now, it can't be confirmed if this was a serious consideration or tongue-in-cheek, but it can't be denied how much men like Jim Crockett, Bill Watts, despised Vince for taking away their livelihoods. However, others just look at this as natural competition. America was founded on capitalism, and you should not get comfortable as a business person, because eventually someone is going to come and take your spot. If you don't adapt, you die. And by 1988, Vince McMahon fully decimated the territory system. Now the WWF was the biggest and best national wrestling promotion in the sport. This made it extremely easy for Vince to acquire the best talent throughout the 90s, as the World Wrestling Federation became home to rising stars like The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Matt and Jeff Hardy, Triple H, Mick Foley, Kane, The Rock. It seemed like Vince's
he got fucking bangers. All of them niggas is heavy hitters.
All over the
all of them niggas was my favorite.
Their events nationally
all of them niggas was my favorite.
Said, the pressure to remain number one was at an all-time high. The matches
all of them
needed
niggas,
to be bigger.
all
the
star.
stakes needed to be higher. Vince wrote in more gimmick matches like ladder matches, table matches, or weirder matches like casket matches and dumpster matches, which meant you had to finish your opponent by putting them in a casket or a dumpster. They even had weird ones like the boiler room match or the hog pen match, which involved wrestling.
I remember the boiler room drawing. That shit was kind of creepy.
There's no doubt that
didn't
the
Kane
Hell in a
and
Cell match,
Kane
which
and
featured a 16-foot
Kane and somebody else had a boiler
that was
room
designed
match.
to have wrestlers thrown from the top or through the middle, was the most electrifying way to watch two people wrestle. It didn't matter that it was fake, because those guys were actually putting their body and their lives on the line for our entertainment and Vince's money. It was only a matter of time before one of those high-flying stunts ended in disaster, and in 1999 at Over the Limit, that's exactly what happened. Owen Hart, who was portraying a superhero called the Blue Blazer, fell from 90 feet in the air during a botched entrance stunt where he was flying over the crowd into the ring. After the fall, he suffered internal bleeding and passed away right there in the stadium. They even announced his death on the show, but Vince said the show must go on, and they proceeded to finish the event like this extreme tragedy did not happen.
I have the unfortunate responsibility to let everyone know that Owen Hart has died.
Vince doubled down on his decision to continue the show in an interview in 2001 with Playboy. If you could do it over, would you still hold the show that night? I just guessed that it was what Owen would want, so you'd do it again? I think so. Vince did not just portray a character of a ruthless businessman. That is who he was. But it proved to be the right path to success. 98 and 99 was their peak in terms of ratings and overall viewership, averaging multiple millions of viewers per episode. By the early 2000s, the WWF was generating $500 million in revenue
was on
each
timing,
year.
boy.
The high-intensity matches did not stop.
I remember back in the day, around this era, why did I pause right here?
For the late 90s and early 2000s definitely saw a shift to more in-depth storytelling, which...
Yeah, around this era, bro, peak wrestling, bro. I was a whole fan. WWF was a little before my time, but my brothers had to get me hip to that. But nigga, Raw, SmackDown, WWE, ECW, really just WWE, WWF, and ECW. Yeah, that was really like the only things. But nigga, I was locked. Like, there's even niggas to this day, that still like be watching like wrestling and shit. Even some people that I used to work with. But like, I just can't get into that shit, bro. All the new wrestlers, the new niggas, and now it's just like it just don't got the same. It don't capture the same essence as it did when I was a kid. Owen would definitely wanted to go on. During this era, I wrestled in junior high. So I ain't never do no wrestling. I just watched a lot of wrestling.
This era is defined as the most ruthless.
I mean, I did some wrestling, like, you know what I'm saying, in the hood, you know what I'm saying? You know, you and your homeboys, you know what I'm saying, they come over and shit. Took turns choke slamming that nigga. And he was like, all right, bro, let me hit you with the fucking, you know what I'm saying? We would just do wrestling moves, you know what I'm saying? He would power bomb me, I choke slam him, hit a nigga with a tombstone, hit a nigga with a pedigree. He'd do like a fucking frog splash. We would just like do all the moves we saw. We would just practice them on each other type shit. We would get hurt, but it was fun.
Chaotic, over-the-top violent, and edgy time in WWE history. Scripts were changed the day before, the day of, or even in the ring. The wrestlers were rugged,
even in the ring,
and in your face. And Vince found himself at the center of these stories because what is more anarchist than beefing with your own boss? Vince portrayed the character of a manic, power-hungry, yet also kind of pathetic CEO of the company. His rivalry with Steve Austin, which began in '97 after Austin hit his boss with a stunner, drove ratings through the roof. This beef was insane. Austin once held McMahon at gunpoint in the ring, although the gun was fake. He drove down the ring with a beer truck and sprayed Vince down with a fire hose of Coors. He even snuck into the hospital.
Oh yeah, this was so classic, bro. Yeah, when he snuck in there and beat the dog shit out of him. Yo, I remember Steve and this nigga used to go at it, bro, and it used to be so fucking comical. So fucking comical, bro. I didn't even go hold you. Yeah, this was my favorite. This was peak wrestling right here. When that nigga Steve and Vince McMahon used to go at it, bro. Fucking peak entertainment. I used to love this shit, bro. Like, they was dead ass. He was dead ass making this nigga. He was making Vince like fucking horrible, bro. I think they said, and y'all niggas wonder why y'all got back and neck pain. Shit, my back and neck meets Gucci. I know, but like, yeah, it's just because I'm old. But nah, that shit was fun. That shit was fun back in the day. We good. We just got a little hurt, but you know what I'm saying? We Gucci. You know what I'm saying? Just gonna be like, oh, you can't do that shit anymore. That's what I'm saying. You can't do this shit no more. But bro, this was peak entertainment, yo.
Up on the bed. This all culminated.
Vince bitch ass was getting that work.
With Austin having a full-on match against Vince and his son.
And
Shane.
his son.
This story.
I didn't like Shane. Shane was a bitch ass nigga. I didn't like Shane, bro. He was a bitch ass nigga to me.
Line set the tone that Vince being intertwined and involved with the lore was good for business. Then again, Stone Cold Steve Austin was such a superstar that he could beef with a mop and it would be entertaining. In the Attitude Era, you could no longer just be an athlete to be a WWE star. You needed to have personality, charisma, excellent speaking abilities to be able to sell a fight and keep these millions of fans engaged. And if you didn't, well, then the writers would come up with your storyline. And you won't believe some of these shocking and twisted narratives that Vince approved or came up with himself. In one of the most bizarre storylines, Kane announced that he was driving late at night with Katie Vick, a girl he loved since he was a teenager. He could not drive stick and they crashed, where she ultimately lost her life. Then Kane attends her open casket and for 6 minutes on live television he fondles her corpse, undresses her lifeless body and gets intimate with her before grabbing her internal organs and drinking the blood from them.
What?
I'll give you what you want. Gonna take what I always wanted.
Or what about the time when Chris Jericho ambushed China?
Yo, what? Yo, I don't remember none of that shit. Whoa.
Tied her up in a dark room and began torturing her by beating her with a hammer, which actually broke her thumb, so her painful screams were real. Vince was a big fan of humiliation, so he developed the Kiss My Ass Club, where a total of 6 men were forced to get on.
I remember the Kiss My Ass Club. He did get off on humiliating motherfuckers. Oh, why did I never? As a kid, bro, just watching this shit, a lot of that shit just kind of go over your head, cuz. Bruh. I remember all of this now. I'm deadass having like a fucking brain blast. I'm like, yo, whole time has always been some weird ass, freaky ass shit going on. I just never locked in and paid attention. Yo, I ain't even gonna hold you. I'm dead ass having a brain blast. I'm like, yo, that's crazy.
On their knees and kiss his backside in front of millions of people. Most of the time this was to save their job, or just to embarrass them on a power trip. I should also note that Vince gave the world the satisfaction of being humiliated as he scripted himself getting his face shoved in Rikishi and the Big Show's backsides. Now most people like to default to all of this being entertainment. Like, sure, they push some boundaries, but it's all fake, right? But as time went on, and wrestlers spoke about their behind-the-scenes experiences, and Vince McMahon being accused of sexual assault and trafficking women, some of these storylines felt more like a glimpse into the reality of Vince McMahon's private life. Vince often used his daughter, Stephanie, for his dark storylines, probably because her loyalty convinced her to never say no to him. Like when she was going to get married in the ring to her fiance Test, only for Triple H to interrupt the wedding with a video of himself drugging, kidnapping, marrying, and then sleeping with Stephanie while she was unconscious, which led to this infamous promo.
Come on out, you rapist!
But Stephanie
That's not funny. That's not funny. The scenario is not funny. Him writing that shit ain't funny. But the way he said that shit. It is. It's TOS like a motherfucking Deja. What's good, love? But bro. Why the fuck you say it like that? Why you say it like that though? Like I deadass was thinking about making that a sound. I ain't gonna do it. But like, bro, why you say it like that? This was the bro. No, it's funny. It's funny as fuck. That nigga said, why you say it like that, bro? Oh my soul, I would dead ass use that, but I know y'all niggas would go crazy. Y'all would go crazy and do that shit every time. Like I go to sleep, every time I wake up. Come on out, you. I was like, bro, chill, bro, chill. Damn, chill. I would have to make that like. I would actually have to make that like sound bits. Y'all would actually have to pay like actual money to use that shit. See you guys later. All right, Deji Weiji. It is that time, ain't it? It is that time. I just had to do a little time check. You enjoy the night, don't work too hard. But yo, that shit, that shit, I'm not gonna hold you. That shit caught me off guard. That was kind of funny. That was kind of funny. I ain't even gonna hold you. That was pretty funny. All right, Deja, yeah, enjoy your night. I'll be here. Actually, yeah, I'll be here. I'll be here. That shit was funny, cause I ain't even gonna hold you. I'm definitely gonna whoop that shit. It sounds like a lawnmower going off. That shit is fucking hilarious, bruh.
Stephanie was the subject of another kidnapping, this time by The Undertaker, who brought her out tied on a crucifix-like structure before one of his disciples began ordaining the marriage. In a promo that fans now believe is more of an admission of Stephanie's reality, she says that Vince trafficked his own daughter.
That's what it sounds like, huh? That's what a dead ass sound like.
Stephanie also admitted that he attempted to push an incest angle.
My dad did approach me about wanting to be the father of my baby on.
Hey, yo! What? Hey, yo!
A storyline for TV, which again is only the second time I've ever actually said no to him for something he wanted to do, and that one was just a little too gross. Actually, it's.
Look at this nigga. Look at this thing. Yeah, you want to do it? Yeah. Come on. Yeah, it's good for ratings. Yeah. Damn, Vince. It's like the older you get, you just wait another week and something from your childhood gets exposed for being fucking depraved and deplorable. You know what I'm saying? It's like and everything we loved as kids is fucking horrible. You know what I'm saying? What in the sweet home Alabama is this? Bruh. No bullshit. That's getting pinned. But like, bruh, he a little too happy. He a little too excited. Like, bruh, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Completely disgusting, and I don't find the entertainment value in it at all.
But that didn't stop her from kissing him on the mouth.
Yeah, I'll think about it.
But Vince just couldn't.
What?
Not stop coming up with tropes that involve men preying on women. Vince came up with a storyline for Diamond Dallas Page to stalk The Undertaker's wife. DDP says to this
Not
day...
DDP, he was my nigga, bro. What it... Oh... Not Don. I actually had like one of those plushies of that nigga that you could wrestle with because I was a kid. And it was like the... Not DDP, bro. What the fuck that nigga do, bro?
He regrets agreeing to be a part of this narrative. What I should have done was shook everyone's hands and said, I love the idea, but not for DDP. A few years later, this is what Vince said he was going to do to The Undertaker's wife and kids.
You don't realize what I'm gonna do, do you? The terrorists are gonna burn down The Undertaker's house. Yeah. Huh? His children are gonna be kidnapped. His wife, she's gonna be raped by a motorcycle gang right in front of The Undertaker.
What the fuck is wrong with this nigga, bro? What? By a motorcycle gang in front of him? Hey, yo!
That's the plan I want implemented, damn it.
Finally, Vince was able to find a woman who could take his twisted ideas to a whole new level, as he scripted himself a mistress, Trish Stratus. Trish played a character.
Oh, I used to love me some Trish Stratus. I used to love some Trish and Stacy Keibler. Bro, they used to, I ain't gonna hold you, bro. They had a young, impressionable Dirty Dan like this all the time. When I seen Trish Stratus, boy, I'm trying to tell you, Trish Stratus, and probably, I used to I didn't get them confused, but Trish Stratus and Pamela Anderson, like back in the day, on my soul. On my soul. Before I knew any better, seeing that elite milk and those goddamn mammaries as a young, impressionable Dirty Dan, nigga, it was up. And Stacy Keibler, like, she was like the first white girls I ever seen that was small but had a fat ass. Like, she was built like a black girl but white. I was like, yo.
I was gonna hear a touching tale of friendship, but instead it was dick.
It's not. We're not talking about dick. But like, Trish was just like, Trish and Stacy. Stacy was just so small, but that ass was like, play him. I was like, bro, how would she look like these? Man, I'm reminiscing now about like, damn, bro, back when the world was normal. Man. Crazy, bro.
Character of a woman who slept with the boss to advance her place in the company. At one point, they even wrote that Vince's actual wife, Linda, was so ill she needed 24-hour nursing care and was on copious amounts of drugs. He then brought her out in front of the entire world to make out with Trish.
I remember that. I remember that. I remember he did that. He tried to make her seem like his actual wife was a vegetable and she was like the mistress. Oh, I'm dead ass having an epiphany, cuh. Like, I'm dead ass realizing all the fucked up things that was happening. I was just young and not even really realizing what was happening. Yo, that's wild. That's actually wild. Why not? Oh, why not? I was like, why not what? Why are we not talking about? Because. Because. That I was like, man. Yo, Stacy, man. I wonder what she doing now. Stacy Keibler, bro. Because Stacy, bro. She was. Young Dirty Dan, you couldn't convince me that Stacy Keibler 1-to-1. That small titty, big ass combo, and she was white. She was pretty too. That from my knowledge, but like, man, she was that one.
Right in front of his wife. Vince was brutal towards his wife. He even wrote in a scene where his kids repeatedly slapped their own mother to sell a promo. Whatever it takes to get ratings, right? And even though Trish was doing everything she could to advance her place in the company, it wouldn't be long before she was the one who would get humiliated, as he once even stripped her down in the ring and forced her to bark like a dog.
I remember this, and this shit made me so mad, bro. This shit made me mad, because I'm sitting there like, no, that's my Trish. Trish, get up! Trish, get up! I remember I was mad as hell, cuz. I was tight. I was like, Trish, get up! Trish, no! Get the fuck up! Stacey is 44. You can still... She's only 44? What she look like, though? I gotta see what Stacy Keibler looking like now, bro. I know she still ain't got that slender body with that flam. I know she ain't got that no more. She 44. 44 ain't bad, you know what I'm saying? That ain't bad at all. I still crack her. She still look the same. But I know she don't.
He even tried to get her to join the Kiss My Ass Club.
Oh, I'm gonna unbuckle my belt.
But The Rock saved her. Vince's idea of easing up on women was by giving them a new match gimmick, the bra and panties match. This match...
I ain't even gonna hold you. As a young, impressionable Dirty Dan, them bra and panties matches... As a young, impressionable Dirty Dan, bruh, I ain't even gonna hold you. The stories were still super fucking fire, but I ain't gonna have my those, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? She lives in Austin. She lived where DreamCon at. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a damn where she lived, though.
Gimmick was when the female wrestlers would only win the match if they stripped their opponent down to their bra and panties. They also had wet t-shirt contests and spanking matches. Vince was constantly writing storylines where women had to provide him with some sort of sexual favor.
How badly do you want to be a WWF superstar?
Tori Wilson spoke recently about how she never wanted to play the sexy role and how she tried to convince writers to get her to do more stunts.
Fit Finlay was amazing putting matches together and just trying to make us look the best he could.
Yeah. She had a shit ton of work done on her face, though. I
often would ask him if I could please get thrown into the stairs or like...
OF would hit different back then. Boy! What did they have back then? Playboy magazines that you could just like go get in the fucking 7-Elevens or, you know what I'm saying? They just had like Playboy magazines, Maxims, HBO, Skinamax, DVDs and VHSs. Yeah, they wasn't really making no real buzz. Brazzers was a thing back then. Shit, I ain't know that. Yeah, but there was no real Johns.
Not crazy things, but like, I just really wanted to get.
Oh, phone sex opera. Oh, calendars. You're right. The calendar models. Shorties would be on calendars a whole bunch. You know what I'm saying? They'd be like, oh man, I can't wait to get to August. Oh yeah. You know what I'm saying? I remember that shit. I never had one, but I remember like the calendars was a big thing. Niggas would like be pressed for the next month so they could put that bitch up. I remember them Johns. Damn. Yeah, that's a good one, son. I forgot about that shit. And what else? Oh yeah. Remember back in the day, if you was watching TV after 11 o'clock, you couldn't see a fucking commercial that wasn't like a phone sex commercial. You know what I'm saying? They dead ass had them bitches like almost every third commercial was a hotline you could call to bust a nut. On my soul, after 11, every third commercial was one of those hotline Johns. Girls Gone Wild, you right. It was after 9. I thought it was after 11 or 9, but I remember basically whenever I'm supposed to go to sleep, nigga, I remember back in the day, because that's when you kept Cartoon Network, or you kept Cartoon Network, or you kept something else, like, and then you hit the last button so you could go back to your little freaky show, like you could go back to the HBO or go back to Cinemax or whatever, or go BET Uncut, BET Raw, nigga, watching the Nelly Tip Drill music video, nigga, they used to go crazy. But yo, nigga, I remember them Jones. What's good? Santana Cantana. You remember that shit? You remember that shit too? We just having a trip down memory lane. I'm actually recording a video for YouTube, and it always happens like this. We get to talking about shit, and I get to having to chop up trim this fat out of the video and all that shit. We always get, but what's good with you though, my boy? I appreciate you lurking. Booty Talk always been around too. But yeah, after like 9 or 11, nigga, every fucking commercial, every third commercial would be like the OxyClean, nigga. It'd be like one of those the OxyClean, nigga. It'd be like one of those, remember back in the day, like the oldie but goodies, like the sounds of the 80s. Or you know what I'm saying? It'd be like one of the music Johns, or it'd be like lots and lots of trains, or lots and lots of planes, or lots and lots of animals. You know what I'm saying? It was always that. Or it was the phone sex Johns. It was the phone sex hotline Johns. Every fucking time they had them bitches on rotation, yo. It was what was it? My fault. Or that furniture commercial the furniture one. I think I know what you're talking about. It was all corn phone for the commercials. That ass. It really was. Tip Drill by Nelly was wild. It really is. HBO. Yeah, HBO. I haven't watched HBO like in years, but like back in the day when they had like, you know what I'm saying, Real Sex, and they had Taxi Cab Confessions, and when they had like real shit on back in the day, and I knew, all right, it's about 9 to 10 o'clock. Technically, I'm supposed to be asleep, so I ain't really supposed to get caught watching TV. But if I am caught watching TV, I got to make sure I'm not on fucking HBO. You know what I'm saying? So I just always had, you make sure you had your last channel as a Cartoon Network or something, or a Disney Channel or something, nigga. What's good, Hard and Ready? If you call within dead ass, just pay shipping and handling. Looking as if you call within the next 15 minutes, the seconds. It dead ass was like that, bro. It dead ass was like that. I do want to go back too, not just to that, but life was so much simpler back then, yo. Life was so much simpler. It was shit. Felt like the air was cleaner. Felt like food tastes better. Felt like entertainment was more entertaining. I miss that shit too, Letter. I feel you, yo. On me, I feel that shit.
Hurt.
Yeah, there's this like baseball slide into a chair, like it's
some
part of your Hall of Fame reel, and I'm like, oh my gosh,
stuff like that. So like, I wanted to do more of that, but it was I was like kind of laughed at.
She had a shit ton of work done, bro. She looked like a goddamn Barbie doll. TVs were not $1,000. And they all had big backs. The TVs all had big backs. And if you had a slim back TV, that means you was doing good. Nigga, if your TV ain't have a big back, or the little color thingies, you know what I'm saying? The red, white, and yellow components. If your TV ain't had that, you was doing good, nigga. Niggas thought you was Jay-Z or Beyonce in the hood. If you had a slim back TV, oh, you the plug. You that nigga. You know what I'm saying? If you got one of them bitches, you said pretty. Excuse me. There was a back to, you feel me? And the bunny ears, you feel me? Hard and ready, you know. I come from an era of the big back TVs and the RCA jacks. Yup. Red, yellow. Yup. You know what I'm saying? You know it. The AC. Yup. Y'all niggas know. You know, the coaxial cable that you gotta screw into the back of the antennas, the bunny ears. You gotta screw that shit into the back of that, and then you gotta take the other coaxial, put that into the back of the TV, and then you gotta angle the motherfucker just to get like 2 to 3 channels, and they still gonna be snowing. Nigga, why? Those was the days, nigga. Those was the motherfucking days. I'm trying to tell you. They was horrible. They was simple, but so simple yet satisfying. It's like, even though we had to struggle to get just the bare minimum, it's like when we got it, it was just so rewarding, bruh. I miss that shit. Not gonna lie, I actually come from the RF adapter age. I don't even know what the RF adapter. What the fuck is that? The worst was when you touch the bunny ears and it gets clear. Like, damn, I have to stand here type shit. And then you got to fucking jerry rig it and you got to get some goddamn aluminum foil because you're like, bro, okay, so I need something to hold this. I need something to hold this because my hand is squeezing it, pause, and that's what's making the picture clear. So you got to go get you some fucking foil, tie that bitch around there tight enough so it can simulate somebody holding it. Nigga, I remember that shit. And you remember when company came over and somebody accidentally hit it or bumped up against it and that was fucked up. And then you got to act like you're not really that mad until company leave. But you know for a fact that you hot because you got to sit there for about another 2 hours to figure it out and get it perfect. Oh, those was the days, nigga. Those was the days, boy. Those was the motherfucking days. I ain't gonna hold you. This shit was so fucked up and nigga rigged. Simple, but like simple yet satisfying, dog. Miss those days. All right, let's continue. I keep getting sidetracked.
Ultimately, being constantly forced to do these raunchy matches and skits that only showcased her sexuality made her despise the business long after she retired.
But there's also something about wrestling that has always felt super dark to me, and like I'm just really sensitive to it. So like I say no to a lot of signings because I feel like that darkness and it doesn't feel good. It's taken a long time. I didn't watch wrestling. I didn't want anything to do with wrestling for many years after I left. Mostly because I just had like a certain amount of like PTSD from like being so vulnerable out there and feeling like I was put in this kind of like raunchy role that wasn't me.
So while most people thought that these raunchy matches, risque promos, and twisted narratives were just Vince McMahon going over the top to boost ratings, we found out 2 decades later that it was even darker behind the scenes. It was so bad for Ashley Massaro that it ended her life. Massaro was first introduced to the WWE in 2005 when she met a casting director during a pageant searching for contestants for the upcoming 2005 Raw Diva Search competition. She decided that this was the right decision to finally shoot for her dream job as a WWE wrestler. Upon winning, she received $250,000 and a 1-year contract with the WWE. Ashley faced significant challenges during her early WWE career. August 22nd, 2005, she was attacked backstage by fellow divas Candice Michelle and Tori Wilson, leaving her with a back injury. Despite this, she recovered and won the first ever 3-on-2 bra and panties match. After this, she continued to appear in the promotion, but later suffered a severe leg injury on February 20th during a women's battle royale against Mickie James. The injury included a spinal fracture, a severed nerve, and multiple broken bones, requiring a metal plate and screws be put in during surgery. After recovering, she returned until 2008, where she asked to be released from her contract due to her daughter having medical problems. For years, Ashley would be relatively out of the spotlight until 2016 when she would join a class action lawsuit against the WWE WWE,
That nigga
alleging
look
Vince
Cuban.
was a part of one of the most horrifying crime cover-ups in history. Ashley Massaro was a strong supporter of the US military and was enthusiastic about opportunities to meet and help the troops. So in 2006, Ashley was excited to be selected to go to Kuwait for their annual Tribute to the Troops tour. However, the tour started off with issues. In Saudi Arabia, Massaro experienced harsh treatment from several men because of cultural reasons.
Oh shit, it
which
is
made her
Kaz. I'm about to say, who the
and
fuck
after
did that?
arriving in Kuwait, she began
What's
suffering
good, my
from menstrual
boy?
cramps and was taken to a military base for dehydration
Someone should
treatment.
give me a
At the
sub.
base, she was given an IV and later a man
You probably
wearing
gotta
an
refresh
orange
your shit.
t-shirt
Something wrong
and
with your
cargo
Twitch.
shorts, claiming to be a U.S.
Someone should
Army
give you a sub.
doctor,
Yeah,
injected
you
her
should,
with a substance that made her body paralyzed while still being
actually,
conscious.
you
He
know what I'm
then
saying?
moved
Somebody
her
might
to a
bless you like a
non-treatment
sneeze.
room where the man violently
Look at what we have here.
R-worded
What it do,
and
Cass? How you feeling, my
sodomized her
boy?
while a woman guarded the door. After
Welcome back.
returning to the U.S., WWE's Dr. Rios called a meeting with Ashley Massaro to discuss the incident. She was unsure how he knew about it, but suspected it might have been someone on the tour who reported it. She
You just
agreed
been
to
drunk
tell
as
him
hell.
what
I've
happened
definitely
as
been
long as
live, my
Rios
boy.
kept it confidential. However, Dr. Rios told Vince McMahon, who then brought in executives for a meeting
wasn't live for the
Massaro
last
was asked to detail
3
what
or 4
happened in
hours.
Kuwait. She said, Vince did at least apologize for what I went through, but then stressed that if I disclosed this incident, it would
Hold on, I gotta
ruin
run
the
that back. My
relationship
fault.
between
As
the
you
WWE
distracted me.
conscious.
I'm watching the rise and fall of Vince McMahon. You know what I'm saying? And I already know you know what I'm saying, back in the day how it was, bruh. You know what I'm saying, when we was like locked in with wrestling and shit. My meats hurt. Nigga said my meats hurt, but I'm Gucci. Hey, well, you know, if you need, you know, they got a little shot for that. You know what I'm saying? They got a little shot. You know what I'm saying? Clear you right up. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead, pop you a pill. You know, Crunk still got some extra Jones in the back. You feel me? So, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? At least you have fun. You know what I'm saying? At least you have fun. Overused. He said never. But, yeah, you fucking threw me off, bro. Why the fuck did you say that?
Strong
All right,
supporter
let me
of
lock
the
back
US
in. Let me lock back
military
in.
and was enthusiastic about opportunities
you
to
wonder
meet
what
and
I'm
help the
fucking
troops. So in 2006, Ashley was excited to be selected to go to Kuwait for their annual Tribute to the Troops tour. However, the tour started off with issues. In Saudi Arabia, Massaro experienced harsh treatment from several men because of cultural reasons which made her uncomfortable. And after arriving in Kuwait, she began suffering from menstrual cramps and was taken to a military base for dehydration treatment. At the base, she was given an IV and later a man wearing an orange t-shirt and cargo shorts, claiming to be a U.S. Army doctor, injected her with a substance that made her body paralyzed while still being conscious. He then moved her to a non-treatment room where the man violently R-worded and sodomized her while a woman guarded the door. After
Yo! Really? That's why I was like, bro, I gotta run this back. I know I missed something like crazy because it's fucking highlighted. Yo! What the fuck? What the fuck? Huh? Hold on, wait, what I miss? Hold on. Oh, I see Ellie. Was there? Died. Well, I died at 11th. I'm pissed. And you don't talk to me. Yeah, you gotta rush your strength, my boy. He said, nope. We're gonna be assholes together. They selling her off. Yeah, that's fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy, nigga.
Returning to the US, WWE's Dr. Rios called a meeting with Ashley Massaro to discuss the incident. She was unsure how he knew about it, but suspected it might have been someone on the tour who reported it. She agreed to tell him what happened as long as Rios kept it confidential. However, Dr. Rios told Vince McMahon, who then brought in executives for a meeting where Massaro was asked to detail what happened in Kuwait. She said, Vince did at least apologize for what I went through, but then stressed that if I disclosed this incident, it would ruin the relationship between the WWE WWE and the US military. He told me to not let one bad experience ruin the good work they were doing. His lack of sensitivity in referring to my ordeal as one bad experience left me speechless. In a filing the next month, WWE called the claim a stale and baseless allegation and denied Massaro had ever reported a sexual assault to anyone affiliated with WWE, saying she had been heard telling others that the doctor had done an inappropriate pelvic exam before a judge dismissed the case in 2018. Less than a year later, Ashley wrote letters back to all of her fans that were sharing love and support for her bravery. Then the next day, Ashley tragically passed away on May 16, 2019. She was 39 years old and is survived by her daughter. An important
Yo, for real? Yo. That's crazy. Yo, that's actually crazy. That's fucked up, bro. That's fucked up, bro.
Important statement that Ashley made during this lawsuit was never released to the public until 2024 to back up Vince's new allegations by Janelle Grant, which we'll get to in a second. Ashley's statement said the following: "During my time with the WWE, I had observed Vince McMahon making out with other divas in the locker room, but he never paid any attention to me, and I assumed I was not his type. This changed after my Playboy cover was released. I was fortunate enough to be allowed to fly on the company jet and stay at the same hotels as the executives for a period of time. On one of these occasions, Vince was attempting to get me alone with him in his hotel room late at night, and I felt extraordinarily uncomfortable. He began calling the hotel room phone and my cell phone non-stop. I called Kevin Dunn, a producer, to explain the situation, and he said I should tell Vince I was not feeling well and would see him on TV the next day, so I did. Immediately after that night, Vince started writing my promos for me. Vince does not write promos for female wrestlers. That is the job of the creative department, and he certainly wouldn't have, under any normal circumstances, written a promo for me, but he did, and the promos were written with a clear intention of ruining my career. In addition, after that night, each time I walked by him, he would make vulgar sexual comments that were clearly designed to make me uncomfortable. These claims can be backed up by former boyfriend and wrestler Paul London, who said that Vince was constantly putting predatory pressure on her.
Many times when she would be crying to me because Vince was propositioning her to fly on the jet with them, like Kevin Dunn.
Why the fuck didn't you do anything to help her, Paul Logan? She was crying to you and you didn't do anything to fucking help or bring it to like, well, you're like, well, you know, he's technically my boss too. I don't want to lose my job, bitch ass nigga. I'm about to say, how come y'all didn't? She was confiding into you, Paul Logan. Yeah, I know. I'm about to say, I answered my own question. I dead ass paused to answer my own question because he's getting a bag too. I'm about to say, she's dead ass crying to you, confiding in you, telling you all this shit. But y'all are both working for the same person. So he's just like, oh, sorry, honey. Oh, it'll get better. Oh, payday's on Thursday. Fuck, nigga. Bro. Y'all niggas is trash. Y'all niggas is all trash. I was in on it. As far as I'm concerned, y'all responsible for her death too.
Bucktooth Bucky would be telling her
that's
that
some
she
hoe
has
ass
to fly on
shit.
the jet with them, or that he might, possibly, or every now and then she was at the, they'd always put the divas up. Like
it's normal
TV
for these
hotel or
motherfuckers.
Whatever. He'd be knocking on her door and trying to get her to answer, and it's just like, I'm shocked this Vince stuff is just now coming out.
The walls were slowly closing in on Vince McMahon. He was able to escape Ashley Massaro's horrible allegations, but it was only a matter of time before his evil past would catch up to him. In 2022, Vince McMahon agreed to pay more than $12 million to 4 women who were affiliated with the WWE over the course of 16 years.
$12 million in hush money is fucking abysmal, nigga. You gotta pay $12 million in hush money for 4 bitches. How much is that per bitch? 3, 6, 9, 12. You gave each shorty $3 million to not speak? That's money. But nigga, wow. That's crazy. Just imagine if you got to give somebody $3 million to shut the fuck up. Just imagine the shit that you've done to that person or the shit that they've seen you do to others. You got to give them $3 million to shut the fuck up. Oh, it gotta be something. It gotta be something fucking diabolical. It gotta be something diabolical, like, bro, what the fuck? Hold on, my fault. Okay, my fault. Kiki, I see you, loved one. I paid 20. He overpaid. That's what I'm saying. 3 M's? 3 M's? But think about the shit that he done to motherfuckers, bro. If you thinking about giving M's just to make a bitch shut the fuck up, you've definitely done, or they seen you do some crazy shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? Us normal niggas, we don't do that much crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, if we just don't want a bitch to say nothing, just like, hey, slide you this cool little dubski, you know what I'm saying? Just, you know, and mum's the word type shit. But nigga, 3 M's? You know he did some shit that's probably illegal.
Signed agreements which prohibited them from discussing their relationships with McMahon.
If you going that high, you definitely did some shit that'll probably land you in jail if the public knows about it.
The settlements include a $7.5 million pact with a former wrestler who alleged that Vince McMahon coerced her into giving him oral sex and then demoted her, and ultimately declined to renew her contract in 2005 after she resisted further sexual encounters.
What'd I say? What the fuck did I say? I knew, and if you paying a bitch 3 M's, it's because you did some crazy shit or they saw you do some crazy shit. Like, you made a bitch, look, you suck my dick, and I'm gonna make sure you're a star. And after she said, no, I'm not doing this anymore. All right, well, I'm gonna make sure I kill your character off. What the fuck? Oh, this nigga a real life villain.
This controversy was enough to make Vince McMahon finally step down as CEO of the company. But in January of 2024, Vince was slapped with another lawsuit, this time jam-packed full of evidence that would make the whole world understand who he truly is. Janelle Grant, a former WWE employee, accused Vince McMahon of abuse, sexual exploitation, and humiliation during his tenure as chief executive. Grant alleged that McMahon lured her with promises of career advancement, but then exploited and trafficked her to other men within the company. Grant first met McMahon in March of 2019 through a manager in her apartment building, where McMahon also lived. She was seeking employment after her parents' deaths. McMahon promised her a job at WWE and showered her with gifts, but the meetings turned inappropriate when one time McMahon approached her in his underwear and pressured her into sexual situations. As such, when McMahon pushed Miss Grant for a physical relationship in return for long-promised employment at WWE, she felt trapped in an impossible situation, submitting to McMahon's sexual demands or facing ruin. Miss Grant feared she had everything to lose and faced negative consequences no matter what happened. In June of 2019, Grant began working as an administrator coordinator in WWE's legal department. After giving her a job, Vince McMahon's sexual demands increased, and he began sharing explicit photos and videos of her with other WWE employees and executives. Despite Miss Grant's expressions of unhappiness and attempts to end the sexual relationship, she came to understand that McMahon expected the physical relationship to continue as a part of her employment. In March of 2020, McMahon began sharing sexually explicit photographs and videos of Miss Grant, including pornographic content he recorded with other men both inside and outside the company. You can even see these text messages of him admitting to doing so. She even tried to express that she did not want an associate named Johnny, aka John Laurinaitis, receiving pictures of her. The lawsuit then goes on to describe not one or a few, but countless extremely detailed situations in which Vince used his power to break her down, exploit her sexually, demand and force her to give herself to him and his associates, whether it was by serving executives during work hours in offices or serving WWE superstars to keep them satisfied and prevent them from leaving the company. Control that can only be described as sexual slavery. If you read this text message, you can see an example of him trying to coordinate a schedule.
Exactly, baby. he's not the only one called me this afternoon begging to eat you with his nice and hard. Ew, I can't even read this shit, nigga. What the fuck? Give me another week, baby. I'll be ready. I'm feeling more like myself. It's not great, but it's getting better. Tell him soon. I already told him, baby. By the way, Johnny wants Tuesdays. But Tuesdays? Johnny wants Tuesdays? But not this coming one. And the occasional Saturday. But maybe I can shift it to Thursday nights. Johnny would like all of the above. What the fuck, bro? These niggas is dead ass weird.
Schedule for his associates.
The
to
elites
take
are
turns
weird
with
as
this
fuck,
woman,
bro.
Only for her to respond that she does not want to, and for him to keep begging. Multiple other text messages from Vince were shown in the lawsuit where he deeply explains his desire to traffic her to men throughout the industry. As one example of McMahon's extreme depravity, on May 9th, 2020, he defecated on Miss Grant during a threesome, and then commanded her to continue pleasuring his friend with feces in her hair and running down her back. McMahon and his friend actively resumed the threesome, which lasted over an hour and a half, while Miss Grant remained covered in McMahon's filth. Naturally, when people hear about allegations like this, they tend to consider the alternative. Maybe she wanted this. Maybe she liked this. Maybe she is just using him for a payday after consenting to this depraved lifestyle. And maybe in the beginning she did consent to these weird kinks. But it's very easy to see how these things can get out of control very quickly. A clear line between fantasy and reality needs to be drawn, and evidently that wasn't the case. Now, people will also wonder, how did this get so bad? Well, a lot of people downplay the impact of psychological manipulation and how people can lose themselves, go numb, and just start obliging to the demands of their abuser. The lawsuit also quotes Vince texting her saying, "I want to drive you lower and lower, so low that you beg me to sell you." In early 2022, Vince said that his wife Linda found out about he and Janelle's relationship and threatened a divorce, so he stopped all communication with her to save his marriage and avoid a public fallout. He demanded that she sign a non-disclosure agreement in which McMahon agreed to pay her $3 million to keep their relationship confidential. However, after the anonymous tip in 2022 that led to a board investigation and a multi-million-dollar payout to a few women, Vince stopped paying Janelle after the initial $1 million installment. Vince has vehemently denied any wrongdoing. He also put out a statement saying he and Janelle had a consensual relationship that lasted a little less than 3 years and ended in early 2022. He also added that Grant texted him explicit images of herself and messages expressing love for him, along with her wanting clothes and other gifts. We remain confident the evidence will prove Miss Grant's allegations are false and her complaint is nothing more than a fabricated, vindictive narrative from a disgruntled former girlfriend. But in July of 2023, federal prosecutors executed a search warrant for McMahon's phone and served him with a grand jury subpoena. And it seems like since then, which has now been a year, the feds have been building a case against him. Just a month ago, they asked Janelle if she would agree to essentially.
They're not weird. They doing the same. They doing and saying the same shit we do with our significant others. The dialogue isn't any different. They're regular. Than a regular couple behind closed door. It's only weird because it's grape and their style of endeavors is taboo. No, nigga, it is weird. It is fucking weird because they're literally. They like, nigga, I have this opportunity for you. Suck some dick, and I'll make you a star. And if they just get tired of getting their dick sucked, or if the bitch don't want to suck dick no more, for me to go back to the drawing board. We're about to write you out of this script. That's not normal, goddammit. Now it's normal if you go like, all right, hold on, all right, go ahead, get a bitch a cool 40 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? If she's yay it or nay it, it is what it is. These niggas is dead ass evil as puppeteer masterminds. This is different. This is a little different. You not hear what I'm saying? No, I hear exactly what you're saying. It's just like, no, it's not every couple is like that. Situationally, maybe, yes, but no. This shit is weird. This shit is dead ass weird. Like, the shit that they be making these motherfuckers do, this shit is weird. I couldn't even read one of the text messages. I'm like, bro, wait a minute. This shit is weird. I mean, it may be classified as like a type of kink, but no, nigga. I mean, I will say this. I'm glad there hasn't been any weird kid shit. So I will say, you know what I'm saying? I tip my hat off to you, sir. I'm glad there hasn't been any weird kid shit. Now, there's still a lot of fucked up shit that they got going on, but I'm just kind of glad it ain't on that timing. So I will give them that good grace. I'm saying the way they talk sexually is only weird because of how he was texting. Like, reading it sounded weird. Oh, like, well, all right. It's not even really, that's that part of what they was talking about. That's not even really the weird part I'm talking about. Yeah, the text messages and shit like that, that's not really the whole weird part. That's just basically, you know, just dumb white people being horny. The whole thing is like, what's weird to me is like how they be literally coercing these bitches to do it when they don't want that shit to be done, and the humiliation tactic of it. It's like, all right, this ain't even fun no more. And they was like, well, you want this check, right? You know what I'm saying? That's the part that's like, nah, that ain't normal. Nigga, we be out here telling shorties wild shit and doing crazy shit to them in the bedroom. That's what I'm saying. No, oh yeah, that's 100%. That's 100% cool. Now, that's what I'm saying. Like, the messages and all that shit, that's normal. But like, all right, let's say you got a bitch that ain't on that timing anymore. Let's say you had her on that time at one time and she's like, oh, well, you know, this ain't really for me. And now it's just like, well, shit, I need this. I want this again. I'm getting it again. I'm going to get it again. And the only way they're going to get it is just like, well, I'm technically your boss. So you want to live this lifestyle? What you trying to do? You want to go work at Subway and make some footlongs, or you going to take a footlong? What you trying to do? You feel me? Like, that's the part where I'm be like, all right, no, all right, yeah, these niggas is kind of weird, cuz. But, you know, that's you know what I'm saying? That's on some puppet master type shit. And then the humiliation shit. That's the shit weird. He got a humiliation kink.
Essentially put her case on
that nigga got a
hold
real
while they
humiliation
investigate him
kink. Because I didn't
further.
realize
She
that until like
agreed.
now.
So it seems like any day now the feds.
And this nigga look like he's dying. He looks like what was that one movie we watched, bro? About that one nigga that was a scammer and shit. That nigga, that Ricky Ricardo looking ass nigga. He looked like an old ass Cuban. Like, he looked like one of them.
Could present the world with years worth of evidence proving him to be the exact same depraved, disgusting, abusive, power-absorbed freak he conveyed himself to be on television for the past 35 years.
That's crazy. I deadass didn't realize that this nigga, he's not even being a character. He's not even being a character. That's just him. Fucking wild. Fucking wild. Excuse me. Shout out Patrick. Shout out Pat. W video. Always. But nigga, that's... Damn, Vince. Damn, Vince.